clipping. There existed an addiction to blood. David Diggs and two producers, William Hudson and Jonathan Snipes, released a couple of albums under this rap group in the past, and they've all been kind of like concept albums, which I find pretty interesting. David Diggs, I think maybe more well known for his acting, on Broadway in Hamilton, and then in a lot of movies recently. What was the movie he was in last year about like the shooting?
Blind Spotting.
Yes, Blind Spotting.
Yeah. And he raps in that movie.
And he's just an incredibly talented person in general. This was an interesting listen for a couple of reasons. It takes this concept of this old vampire movie from the 70s. So it kind of has source material it's working off of. And without knowing the source material that well, I felt like maybe I was, kind of missing out a little bit on it. But I found myself kind of bored throughout the listen, only because I felt like a lot of the songs kind of had the same feel to them. And nothing seemed to really jump out as like a real standout song, except for maybe two of them. But overall, I think it's interesting to be taking these like pieces of art that have already been made and these things that like inspire them and trying to like make albums off of it. So I give them a lot of credit for that. What did you think of There Existed an Addiction to Blood?
Yeah, I think the thing with David, who's the sole vocalist of the group, as you said, and the thing with a lot of the clipping songs, at least on this album, is that you almost get like distracted by how technical rappy he is with his delivery and his punchline. There's like a very technical punchline flow. And that almost distracts you from the fact that a lot of the songs are almost structured the same way. And a lot of times they sound the same, which is weird because the production is often all over the place. It's very much experimental hip hop, very like noisy production. And the delivery kind of reminds me a lot of like Standing on the Corner, or maybe some rap songs, Earl Sweatshirt or Mike or Death Grips, But it almost doesn't feel quite as unique as like it presents itself to be, at least sometimes. Like I know like on Mid-City, their first mixtape from 2013, that didn't seem quite the case to me. But this time they go full horrorcore, as you said, with the content. And I don't know, it's just a little inaccessible, I think, at times. You kind of just have to really lock in to get the full picture, because with this kind of production, naturally, it's not super pleasing to the ear, I guess. So you kind of have to be in that right headspace to kind of appreciate this. But I would never say any of this is bad, It's certainly not. It's just very much trying to be a certain thing. So you just kind of have to be in that mood.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to kind of get into that mood for myself, at least, only because it's very dark. The beats are pretty heavy. It's not necessarily something where I like listen to it and I was like, oh, I'll throw this on in the car, or I'll sit down just to kind of like get into this mood. I mean, it is spooky season, being October and all. So like I appreciate the attempt at getting in the spirit of the season, but just not for me, I think. What did you think of the last track, like where they were like burning the piano?
What's it called?
19 minutes.
Piano burning. Well, that's the thing. Mid-City, the first project, has like a 10-minute outro. Similar idea. It's he's saying get money, and then like he switches it around. It's basically the same loop over and over. And this is almost like a quadruple down on that 4 projects later, where we're literally listening to the sounds of a fire. And super indulgent. Do your thing, man. But I was actually kind of happy. I was like, oh, so this album is not actually an hour plus. We can trim off 18 whole minutes. Sick.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt too. I was like, all right, all I hear is the fire crackling for like the first like minute, started skipping around the same thing. I was like, all right, cool. I'm over this.
I will say I listened to the whole thing. The whole fire. Turns out the piano did burn.
Okay.
And you can just take my word on that. You probably don't have to
I'm
make
going
sure
to.
double check yourself. No need to fact check me there. But yeah, David, I found his music always really interesting because in Blind Spotting from last year, the movie, of course, the rap scene is like a very distinct, in your face, not subtle moment that I think is kind of the make or break point of whether you like or love the movie. And for me, it wasn't that subtle, and it kind of took me out of it. That's why I like something like Sorry to Bother You way much more. They're kind of a similar vein. And David, when Hamilton comes out, he's kind of the one who gives like the real like cred to that music, that play, because he's the actual rapper there. He's, like Lin-Manuel, talented ass guy, obviously genius for writing all that, but it's like Harvard rap. It's like it's not like real hip hop, but David is of real hip hop, so he almost gave like real credence, I think, to the work. And meanwhile, his own work that he actually does is, he signed to Sub Pop Records, who is famous for like pioneering Nirvana and like the grunge wave 25 years ago.
Yep.
And David's just making fucking like Death Grips lo-fi shit, man. It's kind of wild, but good for him, man. He's killing it. So this is definitely like, it's very niche stuff, but I'm sure this will please a lot of his fans and Death Grip fans, stuff like that. So pretty cool, but not my favorite stuff.
Other than Hamilton, the thing I like him in most is the Andy Samberg movie about the juicing in the cycling world. He's
7 Days in Hell.
Yeah, 7 Days in Hell. Is that
Wait,
is
no.
that the one, or is that's the tennis
Tour
one?
de Pharmacy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
7 Days in Hell is the tennis one.
Yeah, both of those are hilarious. Definitely recommend checking those out.